My privilege and honor to introduce to you some really special people. These are the guys who make this event happen every year. Let's bring them up on stage. Timon, Senior Vice President of Entertainment. Jim's been awake since God knows how long. The only person who's been awake longer than Jim, Mike Aiello, show director, creative director, Halloween Horror Nights. Laura Wallace, show director, Halloween Horror Nights. You're in great hands. They have a lot of cool information to share with you. Like Scotty said, they'll talk for a little bit. There'll be an opportunity for questions later on. Guys, have a great, great time tonight. Enjoy yourselves. Jim, take it away, please.
Thanks very much, Tom. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for Halloween Horror Nights 23, thank you. Sorry, we've been awake for a while, like Tom said. You know, every year I get the opportunity to kind of kick the event off and say welcome and thank you. First, for all of you being here tonight to support us and, as Tom said, cover us. Also, I want to thank a couple people, as Tom has. You know, Halloween Horror Nights is a labor of love, and as some of you have heard me say that before. There are hundreds of people who put their heart and soul into this event every year, and some people I want to thank. You know, there's a huge creative effort that goes into this project, and it's kicked off every year. In fact, next year's already kicked off. Believe it or not, 24 is underway as we speak tonight about 23. And our art and design staff, led by TJ Manarino, is up in the back of the room, and his team of artists, designers, costumers, who put so much love and effort. Thank you, guys. I have to say thank you to TJ. Everyone, please say thank you. They're backed up by John Hamrick and the technical staff. The special effects that go into the haunted houses you see tonight, the streets. The technical team does all the magic and the voodoo that you're not really supposed to notice. It just happens around you. That staff does incredible work. Our operations team, everything that happens in the park. Halloween Horror Nights takes thousands of people. And as Tom mentioned, our operations staff, food and beverage, everything goes into Halloween Horror Nights to build the entire experience of changing this park from a daytime experience into the most horrifying Halloween event in the world. We couldn't do it without all these people. And the creative effort that's led off by Mike, who I know you all are familiar with. We put a great deal of creative brain power into Halloween Horror Nights every year. And it starts off, it's a year-long process. It's already begun for next year, and we won't leak any details of that yet. But Mike has a great overview of all the content that you're going to see tonight out in the park. We're incredibly proud of 23. We have a great lineup, the most powerful yet, great intellectual properties, great original stories, a couple of incredible live shows. And Mr. Aiello, you want to talk about it?
Absolutely.
Okay, take it away.
Mazes. We have some of the best mazes I think we've produced yet for Halloween Horror Nights 23. This event began with original content. That's how this event started 23 years ago. Original ideas, original mazes. This year we have 3 very, very strong original content mazes that we're very proud of. The first one, I'll tell you right now, is Urban Legends La Llorona. Very, very cool maze. It's in one of our tents, but I tell you what, you would never know it. This is the most elaborate themed tent maze we've ever produced. We did one a couple years ago called Nevermore, based on the works of Edgar Allan Poe. That for us was the pinnacle of the tent maze. For us, this one beat it this year. It is the most gorgeously terrifying experience that we've done in the tent so far, and all rooted around this 500-year-old legend of La Llorona. And it is a spooky maze, it's a sorrowful maze. The thematic is unique. Can they run the video? Oh, cool, all right. So yeah, we're really, really proud of this maze. And anytime we can present a maze that has a female antagonist, we really latch on to because it's unique. And this is something that we actually adopted from our Hollywood park in essence. It was gorgeous out there. We've made some changes, done some tweaks, made it our own, and you guys are really gonna like it. Next maze, Havoc Derailed. Fan favorite. We did this maze several years ago where these genetically altered super soldiers went crazy inside this facility and literally tore it apart. Ever since we did that maze, our fans wanted us to do a sequel. We waited. And we also waited on a certain thematic that we wanted to do. David Hughes, who is an amazing designer, David and Kim Grommel are the maze designers this year, and they are the most brilliant men I've ever had the pleasure of working with. We conferred, and we really wanted to do a maze inside a train. We've never done it before. A maze that encloses you, that it has a ceiling that looks like a train car. And then we had this crazy idea of what if we give the illusion and the essence that it's derailed and it's full of these super soldiers. Perfect, let's try it. Oh, and then we had to do it. Havoc Derailed is an intense maze. The casting here is literally insane. And all of the cast in there have shaved their heads for these roles. We've got tattoo barcodes on the back of their heads. They are just so cool looking, and they are terrifying. We've done 3D mazes in the past for this event. Very successful. In Between, we did several years ago. Who went through that maze? Really, really strong 3D maze. We've learned a lot over the years about 3D and how to accomplish that. This year we decided to do a new 3D maze, but with a darker storyline. This one's called Afterlife, Death's Vengeance. It tells the story of Bobby the Blade. He's a serial killer in the town of Cary, Ohio in the 1920s, which is our town of choice where literally the root of all evil exists. The hometown of Laura Wallace, actually. So this maze takes 3D to an entirely new level with a darker storyline. We did Penn and Teller last year, which was very campy, comical. It was a fun, almost funhouse type maze. This is very different, drastically different. Dark visuals. We had our employee preview a couple nights ago. It's probably the most disorienting maze that we've done in the 3D realm. Yeah. And yes, the vortex is there. All right. So those are our original content mazes. But this event has really thrived over the last couple of years with our intellectual properties. First up, a passion project for us for about 4 or 5 years we've been trying to do this maze, An American Werewolf in London. Yeah. This maze just blew our mind when we went through it in employee preview. You know, sometimes you don't know, sometimes. These werewolves that we've developed are the most intricate puppets we've ever used in Halloween Horror Nights. The one thing we tasked ourselves with, if we couldn't get these wolves right, we couldn't get them right, we did not have a maze. We also would never have been able to do this maze without the involvement of John Landis. He worked with us very closely, challenged us to make this the best representation of his amazing film that we possibly could, and we're so happy with it. It's remarkable. Video games. Last year we had great success with Silent Hill. We're going to keep that video game train rolling, and this year we're presenting Resident Evil Escape from Raccoon City. Huge Resident Evil fan, and I've played all the games. It's such a brilliant franchise, and one thing we wanted to do, I haven't seen this stuff yet. One thing we wanted to do was that's awesome. We wanted to give it this kind of retro feel, so we based it in games 2 and 3. We knew Nemesis was like a big boss in the Resident Evil franchise, and so it was kind of fun for us to kind of play with those aesthetics. Yes, there are zombies in this space, but their textures are completely different than, let's say, like Walking Dead. We've got creatures in this space. Nemesis is on 10 feet, 12 feet in the air, firing his Gatling gun down at the guests as you're going through. It's just insane. The Cabin in the Woods. I'm so happy we got that movie, because when we saw it for the first time, immediately we're like, we have to do that. We have to do that maze. And we got to work with Lionsgate very closely. Worked with Drew Goddard, the film's writer and co-writer and director. Also, Joss Whedon co-wrote the film. And Drew is an amazing guy. We had lunch with him way back, and it was like kindred spirits. We talked about the maze for about a half hour, and then basically talked about horror movies for 4 hours after that. Here she is, so Sugar Plum Fairy. So yeah, it's the movie. You start in the cabin, you're with this zombie redneck torture family. And then you end up in the facility, just as that purge button is hit. Boom, you're in the elevator room, and things are going crazy. Blood from floor to ceiling inside that elevator shaft. It is the coolest maze. We were watching people on the way out last night, exiting the maze, literally just doing this. It was awesome. It was awesome. Another awesome franchise, Evil Dead. A remake came out this past year, and I know, being a fan, a horror fan, everybody that knew this remake was happening was just hoping that it was going to be good. Because those three films, Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, and Army of Darkness, are like, you know, they're cult classics. And you know what? It was awesome. It was gory, it was visceral, and that's what we immediately attached to, was how gory that this film was. And that is what we're recreating in this maze. This is probably, it's a terrifying maze, but it's also one of the most presentational mazes, I think, we've done in a while, where you're literally watching these scenes play out. You know, we've got a room called Blood Puke. You know what that is. So it's just about recreating those scenes. And last but certainly not least, The Walking Dead No Safe Haven. Walking Dead TV series is an anomaly. It really is. Horror fans out here, you know. This show, 14 million viewers a week watch The Walking Dead. That is unlike any show on television right now, much less a show based in a horror genre. We did a base last year, very successful for us. We knew we were going to do it again, and we had to make it better, bigger than we did before. We did it in our disaster queue line last year. It worked for us to a point, but it still didn't give us the scale that we wanted in a Walking Dead maze. So this year, it's in our parade building facility, where we're able to build the prison yard. We've got a guard tower. I mean, the scale of this maze is immense. The final room of the maze is the cell block from the show. Literally, from floor to ceiling, you're seeing the cell block. And it's infested with all types of walkers. And we have victims in the maze. We're really happy with it. It's bigger, it's better, and it really, really, you know, puts you inside the show. Governor's Aquarium, everything's in there. All the iconic moments from season 3, solely season 3, represented in A Walking Dead No Safe Haven. But we didn't stop there this year with Walking Dead. We decided that we want to do something very different with this brand and with our own template. We took our street program and we decided we were going to take our entire template of portions of the park and represent seasons 1, 2, and 3 of The Walking Dead as part of our street program. And that program show director, Laura Wallace, is going to take you through some of the really cool things about that. Laura Wallace, everyone.
Yeah! We're all huge fans of The Walking Dead, and we were so excited to get this to be our entire street program this year because there are some really wonderful environments and large-scale scenes that we haven't yet been able to create within a house. So this year, we've taken seasons 1, 2, and 3 and recreated some of the most iconic scenes in the streets. As you walk through our streets of the New York area of our park, we have turned that into Atlanta. We wanted a tank to roll out on those streets, just like you saw in season 1 in Atlanta. Well, we couldn't quite get a tank. So we built one. Our designers put together this amazing, it looks true to scale, true life. You're going to see that tank out there. You're also going to see right before your eyes in the city of Atlanta, a survivor turn into a walker. Pretty cool. I hope you guys get to experience it tonight. Also, we wanted to bring the camp from season 1 to life. So we found the perfect area down by our animal actors area is this little circular area where we have set up camp. We have the RV, we have some survivors on top of the RV. There's some tents, there's some really special cool things that happen inside those tents. I'm going to let you experience that tonight. But walkers from season 1, as you will notice when you walk through the park, are a lot faster than season 2 or 3. So really notice that too. We've really put all of our walkers through an intensive training, and the earlier the seasons, the faster the walkers. The later the seasons, the slower the walkers. So we get to season 2. We have erected Herschel's barn, and it is at the moment that we set it on fire. So you actually get to walk through that experience. The smells of burning flesh and burning walkers are going to hit you. And as you walk out, you may see one really special well walker being ripped apart. We also wanted to highlight some of those special walkers from seasons 1, 2, and 3. So placed throughout the park, you're going to see Bicycle Girl, Bunny Slipper Girl, Deer Eater. You're going to see all those walkers come to life. In Hollywood, we represent season 3 by bringing the episode of Clear to life right before your eyes. Have fun out there, and happy Halloween.